We're on the precipice of another year of gaming that's looking like a much stronger outing than what 2024 had for us. And while a plethora of good old video games dropped for us to collectively enjoy, there's just something about the future that bugs me out as someone who notices things way too much. And I'm here today to yap about everything that I listed down on an iPhone note when I woke up one random midnight weeks ago. As the festivities mellow down to kick off the New Year's, I've found the time to go back to the drawing board and continue the journey, as 2024 also introduced me to the never-ending arena of the gaming content creation landscape. While I have started on sharing pieces about specific games that I'm finishing as a part of my quest to vanquish my gaming backlog, I'm way in too deep in the pastime we all love, to the point that the way to go is to extend my perspectives for you all so that we can buckle up to what's to come for later in a community that just loves to stoke the fire. This is a chance for me to share anything related to gaming on a personal level. I trust you that by the end of this video, you and I will finally get up to speed on what the hell that has happened in 2024 gaming, in my personal point of view, of course. Happy holidays and happy new year, you filthy animals.
And a happy new year.
I truly believe that people were still playing Baldur's Gate 3 when the year began. It's no surprise that the 2023 Game of the Year turned Game of a Generation. Not sorry about that. Had people distracted by the fact that the industry as a whole was facing a huge challenge all across early 2024. Layoffs. Mass layoffs. If you've ever faced the sting of being let go from a job, that kind of uncertainty stays with you. It's not just about the paycheck. It's about stability, identity, and the hope of moving forward. For many, that hope was in short supply as massive corporations continued shedding employees left and right. Riot Games, Sony, EA, well, you know how EA goes, they've always been evil for some time now. None of these big players were spared. But the worst offender of them all, Microsoft. Yeah, that Microsoft who closed the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush. Despite coming fresh off the euphoria of a massive acquisition spree in 2023, they slashed up to 1,900 employees from their workforce. It wasn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It was livelihoods, careers, and dreams being erased. Watching it unfold felt surreal, like the industry was devouring itself, even as it pushed out some of its best creative work. I know. What does this have to do with our time gaming? Awareness, my friend. I understand that the initial ones to put out in the effort, the artists, writers, coders, designers, QA testers, and everyone else grinding behind the scenes, are often the first to feel the weight of corporate downsizing. They're the ones who build the magic from scratch, pour out their hearts into these worlds we escape to, and get little credit when their work becomes the talk of the town. And yet, they're also the first to be forgotten when the profit margin tightens. I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because clearly most of them are not going to be anything of interest for us godly gamers in the long run. But then again, awareness and recognition of their importance in bringing out content we all can potentially enjoy goes a long way in a lot of things. What's not deserving of any recognition is how Ubisoft apparently got into my nerves on numerous occasions all throughout the past year.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
And I mean, when the dead horse is already, dead, I guess it's a sign to get on up and out with the family dictating the downfall of this company that's essentially holding its talented workers and IPs hostage. Let me give you a short list of names and phrases that at first glance, you'd know that made huge waves all throughout the year. And sad to say, it's kind of in a bad wave. Skull and Bones.
You fucked it up!
Ooh, get comfortable with not owning games.
What?
Assassin's Creed Shadows and the word negligence.
The most disliked trailer in the series history.
This hate that he's getting does not make any sense.
Star Wars Outlaws. And finally, possible sale. Got you in the ringer there, huh?
Sidetracking coming.
I actually have a video idea that I scrapped and integrated in this video regarding one of the things they've decided on, and it's them closing X Defiant, with its servers being abandoned within this year in particular. When I heard about it, I knew that it was certainly a choice on Ubisoft's end, since they've run out of any deserving association to the word boldness, since it now reflects their poor choice and judgment to close down a game that's otherwise made it possible for them to release anything that's average at best. As of writing this video, the vicious cycle of the community propping up anything Ubisoft does is on a swing of momentum, as the glazing for the bare minimum of Shadows' animations is apparent as the game nears its release. And I'm telling you, if Ubisoft still managed to live in their current negligent state after Shadows proved to be another failure, and I'm most certain the Guillemot family has the industry by the balls, refusing to give up their spot regardless of the state of their reputation. I've lost hope in anything regarding this company for a long time now, and it's about time for you to accept the wisdom of time as the history of the blunders and disappointments unfold for you in this year of 2025.
Much to learn, you still have.
I'm sorry, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. You were not enough to carry the burden Ubisoft bestowed upon you. It's not just Ubisoft who provided the disappointment ammo for this year, and in fairness, some of the things within the industry carried some of the key players' disappointments to make 2024 a year that will prepare us for what's to come. So how about we round out some key things that were released this past year that just gave me the irk or affected the culture as a whole, for better or worse. Starting with
Time for us bad guys to save the world.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
okay, come on, I only reached yellows and then I vowed to never play an online game, never again. Stop the foreshadowing.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. Start your engine!
The game is a landmark of online gaming and a prime example of what not to do when you're poking the bear that is your rabid community. Doesn't help that their issue of the year transcended unhappy gamers all around.
Right.
Let them have it, fellas!
So you're telling me that a game that's as polarizing as The Last of Us 2, which, mind you, released not long ago, deserved a remaster already compared to a beloved JRPG that truly warranted a remaster? It's just a weird trend, you know, remastering these modern games that really doesn't need remastering. Last Epoch, I love you. Thanks for proving that an ARPG can be inoffensive in the year of the Lord 2024 and beyond. Not to mention, bolstering your older brother into heights that's filled with potential.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore training.
Fight your way across the Star Wars galaxy in the classic Battlefront games with massive 64-player online battles.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Fight with heroes.
Put the word out there. We back up.
Battle with villains.
Understand me? We back up.
Launching March 14th. Pre-order now.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this ship, not join them!
Well, would you look at that? EA toning down their greed leads to good things. A set of stuff I'm sure they aren't familiar with for the longest time. My personal game of the year. Watch my extended view of this game here.
Was there farming? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe there was tool and ground farming.
Take you for a ride. Players are fighting their way onto Nintendo Switch as one collection. What? Flash and
I don't know. My most treasured gaming experience of 2024. Shameless plug number 2 here.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that.
I'm going to play this game this year to see how the objective game of the year fares for a JRPG newbie like me. So you better stay tuned for that one.
You have no idea what you have done.
My best friend has an extended look of this game as he's the die-hard BioWare fan between both of us. But to say this game was a big disappointment is an understatement personally. Dragon Age Origins is probably in my top games of all time, and this 2024 classic straight up doo-doo everything that the IP has built and stood for.
The greatest temptation is trying to control something we do not fully understand.
A game that I've waited for since its announcement ages ago, in appreciation of the IP and its history, for better or worse. The Gopnik post-apocalypse is a genre that I have always wanted to start for myself, and the opportunity for me to share it with you all is ever so present once I'm gonna cover my first-hand experiences in the zone or in the metros. When it's ready. That encompasses my footnotes on some of the major releases of 2024. If I missed a few games on the list, well, obviously I did miss out on them due to time. But trust me, if I'm interested in them as much as you do, well, you can expect a video or sorts down the line. Now, it's up to you if these games made your year of gaming worse or not. But remember when I said that I would never play an online game willingly ever again? That's a lie, because the runner-up for my personal game of the year came very late to the party. Marvel Rivals. As with my basketball team, Space Marine 2 is the 1A to Marvel Rivals 1B. This game truly made me believe that it is still possible for me and for others as well to play with randoms who are in the same game as me, which I truly made an effort to get out due to, securing my peace of mind. The latter part of my statement is due to the fact that, I was a sweat in a little MOBA game called Dota 2 back in the day. My age and purview of everything that's going on required me to switch off the pure god gamer mode these online games bring me. But surprisingly, a game that features superheroes, a thing I'm not inherently into, made the cut and gave me and my friends one of the best experiences to grace the year. And to think the game is not even fully matured yet. You got it all. Creativity, fun, emphasis on the word free to play, a lot of unbalanced bullshit, but if you ask me, that's what makes this game fun, since you are expected to be your favorite hero, like say Venom, and feel like you're Venom, regardless of how busted you may think he is. As of writing the script, we're on our way to season 1 after a pre-season 0. So maybe this is another thing I may share with y'all once I get more time with it. Marvel Rivals is a game that's potential is through the roof. Arguably, you can say that it is already smashed its ceiling by dethroning Overwatch. Sorry, Blizzard. While being, in my opinion, the best example of a game running Unreal Engine 5. And that game engine, who had the most underdog beginnings from back in the day, is turning into an example of a big fat warning to the industry filled with cautious optimism, or worse, dread for what's to come. Now, I don't take the mantle of knowing a lot of technical stuff, but as with my appreciation of gaming, I can't help but to dive into topics related to tech with how my low IQ brain functions. Well, sure, there are hit game engines that's beloved even by the layman gamer, and ones that have left a bad mark for all gamers out there. Looking at you, Bethesda. But picture your experience so far with Unreal Engine 5. Were they stable? Different PCs, different circumstances. But what you can't deny are the numerous reports detailing how this company relies on unreliable temporary fixes, like all of the fancy-schmancy upscalers, masking the fault of game developers worldwide in regards to optimization. A thing that I didn't cover in my Silent Hill 2 video is the performance of the game in my system. It was horrible to say the least. A video entailing the pitfalls the developers charged into when developing the game using this engine will be linked in the video's description. To think that the trend of relying on bandage fixes instead of focusing on optimization will be in the same spot as the introduction of microtransactions way back in 2006, or in retrospect if this continues. Most of the developers that are focusing on this kind of mindset are from the big companies that you and I cherish, and unfortunately, this will only get worse as time goes on. With every subsidiary of the advancement of technology that will benefit gaming, it seems like their focus will be on AI and frame generation, which, don't get me wrong, is very great for those who do not have the means to upgrade to the latest and greatest. But somehow, the main purpose of this technology has been replaced for something that screams lazy. It's a shame, really, the way how this game engine exceeds the generation that succeeded it in terms of graphical fidelity, and the layman awe of the potential beauty of it is now being represented by a deeper problem that's rising between video games and optimization. We've been getting new UE5 powered releases as of writing this, but we are still not sure on what this current trend will normalize, which are, basically half-assed optimization of video games. It's just another thing that will be touted as a time will tell type of thing. Another thing that'll be revealed through time is, of course, this channel. I think I yapped long enough to actually wrap up this video and continue the mission of just being there to provide y'all gaming content that you can consider watching. 2024 is the year that made me capable of pursuing a thing in this content creation space, with me finally being one of you that owns an RTX powered rig. And so far, with what we've accomplished, I'm more than happy to see that I'm at least capable. I have a bit more up my sleeve moving forward, and with real life trying to hamper my time with you all, I'll be trying my best to keep up and continue to get better in this YouTube thing. That's for sure. So to kick off 2025, my main expectation is definitely growing the community and playing more games to share what I have to say to y'all, in hopes that you'd be entertained with my ever so rotting brain that comes up with this stuff. Setting the tone with this, even though finishing a mere 2024 wrap-up video took me a lot of willpower. Until then, I hope I'll see you in the next video. Stay awesome and stay kicking, brothers and sisters. Let's go!
It's stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps on getting lost. Studio made their game because they wanted to make a game that they wanted to play themselves. They created it because it hadn't been created before. They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't make it to serve as a brand. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets or fear being laid off if they didn't meet those targets. And furthermore, the people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design. They didn't treat their developers like numbers on a spreadsheet. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit. And they didn't make decisions they knew were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun. And they realized that if the developers didn't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. They understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, those same developers and players would forgive them when things didn't go as planned. But above all, they cared about their game because they loved games. It's really that simple, said the Oracle. Winning Game of the Year turned out